This is Taking It to the Nub with Shirtless Mike.
And Boston Jimmy.
What's going on, brother?
Right. Oh, man, what a week it's been, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
How's everything with you?
Everything's been good. Just we've been working this week a little bit, nothing too major, but at least there's some type of work. And
Good.
that's pretty much how it's been, just staying at home and social distancing.
That's all we can do right now. We'll get through this.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hey, this is a fabulous show we're going to have. We're going to go back to some of my very dear friends in the cigar industry, have been sponsors of me for a very long time on Stogie Press. You can see, I mean, if you haven't figured it out, it's Hiram Solomon, co-founders George and Eddie, otherwise known as Dakrat and Fouad. So we're going to bring them in right now, and we're going to start this show. We're going to have a great time tonight for the next hour, talking about Hiram and Solomon. George and Eddie, how are you? Oh, how you guys?
Hi, how are you guys?
Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having us.
So Hiram and Solomon, I was just explaining in the intro, I got a couple of things sitting in the back of me here.
Uh-huh.
Cool humidors.
Oh, yeah, I see them, huh?
Going back a long time, and I started Stogie Press probably about the same time that you two started Hiram and Solomon and began the adventure. So we all kind of on that same trajectory of success. And Hiram and Solomon has really propelled itself over the years. Let's take it back though a little to the beginning. How did this brand come to be?
George?
Really, Eddie? You let me speak first?
Once I start talking, I'm not going to stop. You know that.
No, Eddie, as far as I love to say it, I always enjoyed the way you say the story. Come on, let me enjoy it one more time. Go ahead.
All right.
Start with when we were sitting in the lodge, in the basement, drinking scotch, playing cards. Go ahead.
Well, goes back about a few years back. Cheers, first of all. Like Frog, like you had it last time too.
Cheers.
I like it.
I'm not drinking alcohol tonight. I got too drunk last night.
Well, guys, about 10 years, probably 12 years back, sitting in the lodge, the Masonic lodge that we belong to. And after the meeting, we go downstairs, exchange ideas, have a drink, have a cigar. And we always wondered why we don't have anything that has the Masonic logo on it. And it just happened at that time that we needed some money for a scholarship. So we decided to roll 1,000 cigars. We're about 15 guys at that time that wanted to do this project for fundraising. But when the time came to write some checks, there was only George and I left. So we rolled the first 1,000 and it was very successful. We rolled the second 1,000, third, and the fourth, and it just started from there. And other lodges start calling us, and then it all happened at the Barnegat here in New Jersey, in the Masonic Lodge in the basement. Technically, this is where the idea started for many years, and we got the support of the Grand Lodge. As I always say, we didn't need their approval; we needed their support because the square and compass rights, nobody owns that rights. They own the rights for, let's say, Grand Lodge of New Jersey, Grand Lodge of New York, but not as a Masonic symbol, the square and compass. Same like the cross. Nobody has own the right for the cross. Anybody can take the cross and do whatever you want. Same with the Masonic symbol. But needing their support was the essential part of the whole equation. And it took us a few years to get that. And we rolled it, and here we are right now. And we're on our 6th year, George, right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, our 6th year actually in January 4, as of January 4, and we're growing faster than we ever expected. We're in over 20 countries right now. We're growing big in Europe also. So
Now, a few years ago, you and I were on a Scotch and Cigars cruise down in South Florida.
right.
And we had a similar conversation, and you talked about how this whole adventure was kind of a, you know, it was a part-time thing. You were thinking about retiring or, you know, starting to go into another part of your life. And this just went crazy. It just took off.
Yeah, yeah. It was just a part-time, a hobby for George and I, just as I said. And from there, graduated to a part-time job, to full-time job, to double full-time job, to taking over our life.
Supposed to be retirement. Now we will never retire.
Yeah.
You got to keep giving the craft. And,
Yes.
and George, you own a cigar shop.
Yes.
So talk. Where's your cigar shop?
Well, I own a cigar shop in Bricktown, New Jersey, called Solomon's Legend. And it's funny because we opened that lounge at the same time we started Hiram and Solomon Cigars. But, you know, it took a while to grow up. It's really tough neighborhood, retirement neighborhood. I started with no major brands cigars, and I was struggling like the first 2 years. Everybody come to visit me and, you know, ask for the basic major brands, which unfortunately forced me, you know, to combine, you know, not just small companies, but to put the major brands there, because, you know, after all, if you are not making enough sales, you're not going to survive. But also that helped me to introduce the small companies together with the major brands, and introduced Hiram and Solomon. Now we have like a solid cigar smokers for Hiram and Solomon in my lodge. People make it as a destination to come to Solomon's Legend or Legend Lounge to buy Hiram and Solomon cigars, since this is the place where they can find the owners. Eddie has a desk there. Sometimes he sits also. If he's not traveling, that's the place to find him. And I'm here every day, except for these days. I go alone, check the place. Sometimes I smoke a cigar alone. We're not open, unfortunately, due to Corona weather.
So
very
George, describe how you know the environment of your shop. What's the name of it?
Okay. The name of the place is Legend Lounge. The environment is, you know, we tell everybody two things. Don't get caught speaking politics and fight the other guy, and don't be an asshole. And you're always welcome here. If you're not going to start a fight, this is the place to be. So in the beginning, we called it the no drama zone.
I like that.
You want drama? Go somewhere else. You want here to chat, have fun. You can call each other names. I don't mind, you know, as far as it's friendly way. You can smoke cigars together, have fun, bring your scotch, bring your drink, bring your beer, order some food. Let's have fun. No drama. This is the no drama place.
I like that. Yeah, definitely. Me too. Drama is definitely a no-no, and it just makes life a whole lot worse.
So we got some people on watching us right now. Just give some shout outs.
Except for Mike, nobody's allowed to be shirtless there.
We got some folks. Let me give some shout outs. Some people. We got Larry Adams on, Mo from Frontline Cigars. Tarazona family's on from Tarazona Cigars. We got Lucas Hupp, Terry Mabin from our local Sticks and Spirits Cigar Club, Michael Butler, Barry Bones Argento, who, by the way, says the Veiled Prophet is a great smoke comparable to the Opus X Lost City.
Oh, wow.
I'll take it as a compliment.
There's an
Or I
endorsement.
don't know if it's a compliment for Fuente, but I'll take it as a compliment for us.
We got Jesse Hall, AJ Hawkins, Robert Girardi, Rick Evers is on. You know Rick. We got George Noel from my local town. Mike Bellidy's on. Say hi to Mike Bellady.
Mikey.
Hi, Mike.
Jonathan Deeks. Terry says he's getting ready to light up a traveling man. The group is growing very quickly. So we got a lot of people coming in.
Greetings, guys. Greetings. Can they hear us?
Are you guys in partners in the lounge, or is it just yours, George?
No, it is George's lounge, but I use it more than him. I have more space inside for the cigar. But he pays the rent.
Okay.
So
you create this. Go ahead.
We are partners in profit, but not in cost.
So how does the split work in Hiram Solomon? So you've got a lounge you have to manage on a regular basis. I believe you also have a gas station too, if I'm not mistaken.
Both of us.
And Eddie, you were getting ready to kind of retire, and now you're doing this full time. What is the split of responsibilities that you have as far as Hiram Solomon? Who does what in this business?
We both do the same. I mean, the same. I do more traveling than George does, but George, anything with the big decision, we both take it together. Sometimes George says does something. Sometimes I do stuff. But everything is split, especially decision-wise. George does more the support of the Hiram within his lounge, making it like the headquarter of Hiram and Solomon. Because of my family situation at that time, as a divorce and stuff, so I was able to travel more. So I did most of the traveling outside the state. George concentrates usually within the states, close by, and big trade shows and stuff. And George, anything to add?
Since we don't have a lot of employees, actually, we don't have employees. We have salespeople. So it's not really like you have to manage that part every day. You know, the worst part of the management is normally the employees. So we don't have that. I mean, we have to decide on something. It's easy. That comes like once a week or something. Then any of us could follow up. We have a trust. You know, as Eddie said, he does more traveling because he's lighter. They give him a break on the airline tickets. You know, I'm a bigger guy. I don't fit in that chair.
No, but see, George and I, we go back almost 25 years. So we know each other from way before. It's not like something, a new adventure. I'm not new to George. George's not new to me. And he's gifted in some stuff. I'm gifted in other stuff. We try to combine together both efforts to make it successful. And as I mentioned before, the immediate success of the company. When I say, 5 years in the life of a cigar company, it's not much. It may seem a lot, 5 years, oh my God. But if we're gonna look back to even the major cigar companies, without giving any names, lots of them took them 15, 20 years to be where they are right now. And for the 5 years that we were in the business, this is our 6th year, I think we're way ahead of the game, especially reading a couple of issues recently about a few boutique cigars that they came strong and they disappeared. And it breaks my heart seeing that, because I know how much time, investment, money and time, effort, sleepless night takes to bring something like this to life, and being able to compete with all the great companies in the market. There's a lot of good cigars in the market. A lot of people ask me, do you only smoke Hiram Solomon? No, I don't smoke only Hiram Solomon. I smoke everything. But first of all, I need to know what's in the market. Secondly, there's a lot of good cigars in the market, especially the last 10 years. I think everybody stepped up their palettes and their production, and we're seeing great cigars in the market.
That's awesome. And I wanted to ask a quick question because Terry Maybin, who's on our chat, he wanted to know uh, about each of y'all. What is your favorite Hiram and Solomon cigar? I'll start with George since Fouad just talked,
Talk nonstop. Huh? I told you once I start. Stop.
and then you can talk after. You know.
Honestly, we like them all. I don't have a favorite. You can say I smoke, and this is funny. The least I smoke is the Master Mason. Why I smoke the least Master Mason? It's a full body. I'm not going to smoke 3-4 cigars a day full body. So it's easier for me to smoke the other ones than smoking that. Also the sizes, I'm a small size cigar guy. I like small ring. So Toro is my maximum. Like, so I enjoy Robusto. I don't smoke. I think it's a little waste of money. For, as I always say, for $1 more, you can have extra inch. So I smoke more Toro, and I love the Lancero. I never smoke the 6x60 because it's not my taste, But I don't have a favorite cigar, like, let's say, flavor out of them. Like, I love them all. After all, they all blended according to our taste. And I love each of them.
Okay.
Probably, and the Connecticut, I love the Connecticut. Like, it's really good start, but last week I'm stuck with a box of Connecticut here. I didn't go to pick up more cigars, and I've been smoking Connecticut in the evening, and I find it really delicious in the evening. You don't have to go, as they say, with a strong cigar after dinner. You can still go with a medium cigar and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a Connecticut late at night.
Yeah. So Inter Apprentice, let's say it in our language, the Inter Apprentice, the Connecticut.
All right. Yeah, and sometimes when it comes to smoking, I don't just smoke a strong cigar. I don't just, I smoke different cigars no matter what the flavor or strength is at different times of the day. So that's very interesting. It all depends on what your mood is,
Absolutely.
But what about you? What's your favorite Hiram and Solomon
I agree
cigar?
with George exactly. There is no such a thing as a favorite cigar. It's what I'm in a mood for. If I have to pick up one cigar that I may smoke at any time, regardless of mood or what I'm drinking, could be the two sizes of the Lancero that we have right now, the Veil Prophet and the Traveling Man. I can smoke them anytime, regardless of what we're drinking with or not. But beside that, depends on the moods and what I'm looking for. Whether, say, I compare it to food. Today, I like steak, I like chicken, I like lobsters, I like anything. You don't eat the same thing every day.
Exactly.
Fouad eats a little. You should ask him if he also smoke a little now.
So going back before Hiram and Solomon came into existence, when did you start smoking cigars? And we'll start with Eddie this time. And what was your first
cigar? I was 18 years old when I graduated high school. I remember back in my home country at that time in Lebanon, my uncle, after graduation, he gave me a Romeo Juliet Churchill in a tube. And he told me, now you're a man, here's your cigar. And that was my first cigar, and still smoking since then. I was 18, I'm 56 right now. You do the math. I don't want to. Last time I was on a radio show, I said, I started smoking about 27 years ago. I was 18. He said, how old are you? I said, 55. The math does not match. So I'll leave the math for you guys.
How about you,
George? We just know you've been smoking a long time,
It's funny because I was not even a smoker in college, neither after college. I started to smoke cigars in the early 90s, but when I lived in Boston, but very little, like occasionally. Honestly, it was about the time I met Eddie, and there's a funny story to that. I will say it when I start smoking more cigars. And at that time, I met Eddie, and I heard this guy smokes cigars. So I went and I bought him like 10 different cigars. And I thought I would impress the guy, so I went to see him. It was my first visit to his house. So I said, listen, I brought some cigars for you. We'll smoke them together. He said, okay. And after dinner, he said, like, you want to see my cigars? Maybe we grab some of them to smoke. We save yours for now. I said, why not? So he took me to his basement, and basically his basement was about one humidor after another humidor, another humidor. And there were like 5,000 to 7,000 cigars from all the world, a lot of Cubans, a lot of different companies. And he said, like, what do you like to smoke? I said, like, these are not familiar to me. Suggest something. So we smoked some of these cigars, his cigars. And when I was ready to go home, I took my cigars. I said, like, you don't need them. I take them. They don't belong to you.
But both George and I, we never smoked a cigarette in our life.
Me either.
Not even trying it. We started with cigars and stayed with cigars.
So before we start, when we get ready to do this show this week, I talked to Eddie about the possibility of having some swag we might want to give away today to some of our viewers.
Sure.
I like what you did the other night when you and the team were on talking, and you did this little thing where we'll do it again here tonight. What do we got to give away? What do you want to give away?
Anything but you, Jimmy. We're not giving you away.
No, you can't give me away. My wife will be upset.
You will be happy, Jimmy. Listen, we can give a few samples. We can some shirts, some hats. So,
all right, you want to give a why don't we give a sampler pack? Because this is the question. We use this question in your show, and I'm going to use it again now because I like it. All right, we'll give a sampler pack of the line of the blends, and you got a shirt.
We have shirts. We have hats. Yes.
And a shirt, and the first person who chimes in can name the 7 blends of Hiram Solomon wins that prize.
They can use abbreviation. So
yeah, you can use abbreviation. So we're gonna let Mike check it out. I don't know if you guys got your phone running, but we'll let it go. I know I've got a few sitting here that I know I've been checking on, but there are 7 of them. So if you can name the 7.
Okay, I'm waiting to see them start to come through. So
we'll just let it run a little bit, and then we'll go look at the first one that came in and see if they did it right.
One of our basic idea to start the business as we started was a scholarship and a charity, and we're big in that, and that goes back to our upbringing and at the same time our Masonic traditions of giving back to the community. And one of our biggest charities are the dyslexic centers and the Shriner hospitals. And at one time, we even the Coast Guard and whatever small other charities, whether Masonic or non-Masonic. Yes, the Shriner Hospital are Masonic and the dyslexic center are Masonic charities, but we do give as much as we can, maybe a little bit more than what we can, but
that's very admirable, and I've seen the checks that you've presented at the lodge and to the hospital for that, and I that's really near and dear to my heart when I see companies doing that, because I watch these commercials on TV all the time for the Shriners Hospital. Now they have a tremendous campaign to raise money.
Yes, I see it all the time now. Yes, and for some people that they don't know, and able to be a Shriner, you have to be a Mason first. So all the Shriners are Masons to start with. You cannot become a Shriner if you're not a Freemason first.
That brings me to another question. So I know there's a lot of folks out there that have been smoking and enjoying Hiram and Solomon, so you want to be as successful as you are. But I'm not sure if everybody fully understands everything that's on this band. And one of the notations on the band is something that you say,
one ask one.
To be one, ask one. Can you explain that to people, what that means?
Basically, we never come to a person, a man, and tell him, why don't you join us? A man, if he thinks he's a good man, he wants to become a better man by being a Mason, he has to ask us. So to be a Mason, ask a Mason. Ask to join.
We are called free Masons, which means in one way, you have to be free with your own free will and accord, not being pushed, pressed by a friend or a brother or father to join. So we see a lot of it in the families that the father has been Mason for 30, 40 years and the son waiting for his father to tell him, and it will never happen. You have to ask, you have to have, what should I do to become a Mason? And this is where it starts the process. So to be one, ask one. Now there is a lot of debate among some Masonic scholars whether this should continue or not, but so far that's a philosophy that we go by. We take good men and make them better men. Always strive, at least.
Okay, so actually, do you actually have 8 blends? Because that's weird. So, okay, so Terry Mabin is the first one that chimed in. He says, entered apprentice, fellow craft, master mason, traveling man, grand architect, and Shriner. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He's missing.
So you got 8, actually, the Veiled Prophet.
The Veiled Prophet, yeah. He included the entered apprentice, fellow craft, master mason, and what else?
He said, entered apprentice, fellow craft, master mason, traveling man, grand architect, and Shriner.
And later on, he said, damn, forgot Veiled Prophet.
So that makes it 7, and there is 1. Actually, the picture is right
But he
behind.
was missing one originally. He like added the later one like later.
Mo from Frontline Cigars says Veiled Prophet, Master Mason, Shriner, Unity, and
Here it is.
fellow craft, traveling man, and grand architect.
Yes. So the Unity was missing on the first one. And actually the picture is right behind me. If you guys see the picture, that's the Unity cigar right behind you, which we decided to make it as a regular line from now on. It was made for the Grand Master of New Jersey, 2019, 2020, Gregory Scott. That's his own blend. And it was very successful. We picked up the number 5 boutique cigar of the year with it. We decided to keep it as a regular line from now on.
And Luigi Lucente, the owner of the humidimeter, the inventor of that, which is a wireless device.
I love that device, by the way. I use it now with every cigar that I'm gonna smoke. I do use it.
I have 2 of them.
Yeah, I know you do.
I have Luigi's personal one that he gave me because he met me and wasn't planning on it, and he just gave me his personal one. So that's his personal.
I really recommend everybody using it. It is a great device, great tool to smoke a cigar. Really a great tool.
Yeah, I have some posts with it because I use it at the lounge. I check the different zones in the humidor to make sure the humidity and it's always accurate. It's very good. Like I can check many cigars and it's always the same. So it's a good invention, and everyone who's interested in knowing how much humidity in his cigar should carry one. It's really good stuff. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for making it.
I know the fashion is to put it on your ear and check it and stuff, but let's evolve a little bit.
All right, so here's what I think we need to do, guys. Okay, so Terry's first try, he named 7. So even though he missed the Veiled Prophet, we said 7.
You did ask for 7 there first.
Okay. Mo, does Mo have a shirt of yours?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Mo, I'm sorry to say this, but you sell Hiram Solomon Cigars, and you have all of these. But I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to think that Eddie should send you a shirt.
He'll get the shirt.
Okay. Larry Adams also chimed in. So those are the 3 that quickly chimed in on it.
All right. Oh, we can do another question, another sampler pack. Where we first made our cigars?
Good question, because that was leading into my segues. So, does anybody know where Hiram Solomon, what factory made their first cigars?
What maybe a factory they could.
That's really difficult.
It's going to be hard for them to know the factory, but how about the country?
Country or the
Okay, that's an easier one. What country did they make their first cigars in? We'll let that roll for a second, and then we'll get into the discussion I want to have about that. So you've been Masons how long?
As of March, myself 25 years.
And you are what level?
32.
A 32, whatever that.
You should
32. The most important is the 3rd degree, 3 degree, which is the Master Mason. This is the most important. Anything else beyond that, it's just an extra. But a Master Mason, it's where everybody strives to be, and where your pride should be, on the 3rd degree, the Master Mason.
Okay. And George?
Same thing.
Same thing.
We also Shriners, both of us, me and Eddie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So have you been to any of the Shriners hospitals nearby you in this pandemic?
No, not lately, no.
We were supposed to be actually a couple weeks ago, but they don't take visitors now.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
we were supposed to present them with a check from the sales of the Unity cigar, but they canceled. I mean, the check's still waiting to be donated. It's there. Just the festivities and the stuff. It's not there now.
Are the parents of the children allowed to come?
I'm not sure, Jimmy. I'm not sure about their newest procedure, but I know they treat a lot of international kids, and they bring them with their family. A lot of people don't know about Schneider Hospital. They treat burns and orthopedic under 18. They're one of the best research centers for burn centers and orthopedic. And they bring people from all over the world, from Africa, from the Middle East, South America. They bring them here with their family. They host them, they feed them, and they treat the kids and send them back with cost zero, practically zero cost. And all the Schneider Hospital, for people who don't know, are free. If you have insurance, they'll gladly take it. You don't have insurance, it's free, zero cost to you.
And how many hospitals are there in the country?
22.
Okay.
And there's 2, I believe, in Canada, a few in Mexico, 1 in Philippines, and I think 1 in Germany. I'm not sure about that, but I think 1 in Germany. And
Mo from Frontline Cigars just texted me, said, "Give his shirt away. Do not send him a shirt."
Watch out. We need to know the shirt size.
No, he's.
Yeah, everybody that the 3 that I named, just name the shirt size. Wayne Clark says he knows, but he can't answer the last question.
Wayne Clark, I love you, Wayne.
Yeah. Larry Adams is no, Luigi. Luigi was the first one to chime in. Hold on, let me double check this. Yes, Luigi is the first one to chime in. He says the Dominican Republic. Mo, who sells your cigars, actually got it wrong. He said Plasencia. Now, into the question.
Dominican Republic.
Luigi, you get another gift pack. Okay. So you started this in the Dominican Republic in what factory?
William Ventura.
In the William Ventura factory. And if I recall correctly, the price of cigars at that time were a little higher than they are today. And you ended up getting a connection into Plasencia, who now makes your cigars.
Right.
And not only did they make them and fit the blend similar, but they also brought your price down.
Yes, our problem in Dominican was knowing that the Dominican is a little bit more expensive than Nicaragua, but the middleman at that time, again, we did not know much about cigars, and it was only for one charity and as a hobby. The middleman stepped us with a, I don't want to say the F word right now, got fucked with the price, and our cost at that time was more than what we sell at wholesale right now. Let me put it that way.
Wow.
Yes, and even though we went back to Plasencia, to David Blanco, and we still gave them the respect, saying this is what we got from Nicaragua pricing. Can you at least match it, knowing that you're going to charge a little more because Dominican prices? And they said no, and we ended up moving to Plasencia. It was a great move. Plasencia is very well known, and I think we improved on the blend also. And here we are right now.
Well, Plasencia did you guys right. They kind of did me right too, because from what I understand, the Boston Jimmy, even though it's made in Honduras, the factory that they're making them at, they're like a stone's throw from the Plasencia factory over there on the border, and they source the Ometepe and Jalapa leaf from them.
Right.
So they work together. So that's, you know, everybody who's enjoyed the Boston Jimmies were like, oh, wow, I really like the cigar. I'm like, it's got some nice leaf in it. That's all I know. So
I don't know if Wayne is still listening to us. Wayne Clark. Wayne was the first brand ambassador for us. He's the first one who really believed in our brand, and we went and we met him in Boston, and he started with us. We started together. Funny story that he did not let me join his Facebook cigar page until he saw my dues card. He did not believe I was a Mason. He was like, I need to see your dues cards paid to the so I need to send him a picture of my dues card for him to accept me into his group. So the shout for Wayne. He works now with Plasencia and is doing great.
So I had a question. Like outside of you guys' cigars, what do you guys like to smoke? You know, as far as other brands go.
I smoke everything. Yeah, I really smoke all the cigars. You know, especially that for the lounge. I mean, I have to know each cigar I sell. So any cigar I get, I smoke. I just have to say some of the cigars I cannot smoke. Not even I don't like them, but it's like taste different for me, heavy, very light. But I probably smoked every cigar in the market. You know, I don't discriminate. I try everything. So anybody who has a cigar for me to try it, he can send it.
That's about how I am too. I love some of everything.
No, there's a lot of great cigar companies there. Without naming anyone, great cigars in the market again. As George said again, there's some cigars I will not smoke. I tried them, not that I not tried them. They just don't fit my palates. It might be great for somebody else. Nothing wrong with that again. I'm not wrong. He's not wrong. It's just what you like. And yes, absolutely. One thing I would like to bring it to the attention of the people, the name of our cigars, each one of them was named with the meaning to the cigar. Because it meant like the Enter Apprentice, the Photograph, the Master Mason. This is our original line. The Enter Apprentice, the first degree of the Mason, Photograph, the second degree, and the third degree. So each one relate to a story. Each one, there's a history behind it. We named them that way so when, especially Masons, when they smoke those cigars, they remember those degrees, they remember those days. And we get a lot of messages saying, this cigar took me back to the days when I took my degrees. And same with every cigar. So every cigar has a story behind it. There is a pride behind it. And that's how we strive to do it, especially like the Grand Architect. The Grand Architect, if everybody is looking closely to the band. And by the way, Diane, Boston Jimmy's wife, is the one who designed the band for us. Depicts the hands of God coming down from the clouds, holding the square and compass, and designing the word. Again, it's a great band. We worked on very hard on every band to give the special messages for each one. And one news right now we're doing, yep, right there, the hand of God with the letter G. What you'll see over there, like a hammer and a square. So those are the tools of the Masons, and the square, of course, the square and the compass over there designing the word. So each cigar has a value, has a meaning behind it. It's not just a name, it's not just a number. There's a story behind it and why to smoke it and how to smoke it. And we found out that this cigar became somehow an ambassador to the Masons worldwide, because it created that curiosity among people to ask questions about the Masons. We know that sign. A lot of people get scared from the Masons. There's a lot of theory behind, a lot of conspiracy theories and stuff like this. So, and a lot of people get intrigued by the band itself, and so it creates that conversation. As you know, when you're sitting in a cigar lounge, the first question you ask what you're smoking. Oh, I'm smoking this. Oh, I know this band. I always wanted to become a Mason. And through our cigars, we brought in a lot of people who wanted to join but did not know what to do, or brought back some of the rusty Masons that they didn't want to. They were a Mason at a certain time, but they got bored. We brought them back. We created the cigar clubs all over the lodges that now cigar lounges and lodges are using a cigar as a tool to bring people back together. And that George and I are very proud of that accomplishment, which we did not see it coming, but it became, and it is right there right now.
That's pretty awesome. So what is the story behind the Veiled Prophet?
The Veiled Prophet, it's a subgroup of the Masons called the Grotto Group, which they do some heart research, donation to the heart research. And one of their degrees, it's called the Veiled Prophet. The real name of the thing is called Al-Mukanna, which is an Arabic word for veiled, the veiled one. So that's a degree of a Masons, actually, again, from the Grotto Group.
Okay.
And each of these groups has their own charity that they do it for. One of our future projects is called, it's going to be the 32nd degree for the Scottish Rite, which they operate all the dyslexic centers all over the United States.
Nice.
George, want to talk about the new cigar coming?
Oh, we have something new?
Yeah, we have a new cigar, but we probably don't want to talk about it because we don't know when it's coming.
It was supposed to be rolled out actually April 21st for the new Grandmaster of New Jersey. But with the delays and all the factories closed, got delayed.
Yeah, so we better hold it for the next meeting, right? Maybe we'll have some samples for Jimmy.
So what's the
Jimmy
blend on it? Can you tell the blend?
Jimmy, you did smoke one, but you smoked it that very fast. At that time, I gave it to you. At that time,
but it was not aged, Daddy. It was not aged. The one he smoked
it was fresh cigar, yeah.
Fresh roll.
Yeah.
It's going to be Pennsylvania broadleaf.
Okay.
It's going to be a strong cigar. But you're one of the very few, besides George and I, smoked that cigar. Very, very few. I mean,
I remember.
Yeah.
So these cigars, so interesting segue. Okay. Is Placencia, is the factory open yet?
Not yet as of this moment, that I know about. They're not open yet, no.
So you got a lot of cigars that are probably sitting in an aging room right now.
Yes.
And perhaps sitting longer than they normally would, right?
Usually, yes. Yes. And we were lucky. We got our final shipment just like a month or two, a couple of months, right before this whole thing happened. So thankfully, we have enough inventory to hold us for a while. I don't know where that's going to leave us once they open, or what's the time frame is going to be for the new cigars to be done. So we don't know what's going to happen. That's a big question mark for all the cigar companies, I guess.
Yeah.
what's next.
The whole industry.
How long do you normally age the cigars in the aging room?
The Plasencia mandate minimum of 90 days before they even send the cigar to us. Minimum.
All right. So the cigars that are now have been rolled and are in the aging room have a good chance of being longer than that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I would think you're not the only one. There's across the board. My belief is that when the next shipment of cigars leave Central America and leave the islands, they will have been aged longer than most.
Yes.
Therefore, they might actually be a little bit better when they hit the store shelf.
Yes.
That'd be an interesting study of
the difference. Yep. Absolutely.
Before they ship.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Yes. Now, in the Veil Prophet, we do use aged tobacco to start with. Mostly on the Veil Prophet, minimum of 3 years, aged tobacco itself, and we age it a little more after rolling. We were supposed to age the cigar for 1 year after rolling, but because of the demand of it, we're cutting that a little bit shorter. But right now, we're hoping we'll touch that year for sure.
So when you talk about aging tobacco, let's educate some consumers here. So you go out, you prime the leaf goes into the barn dries the leaf, right? Brings it from green to yellow to brown. They go into the pilones do their thing, which is the fermentation. And then talk about aging. So when you talk aged tobacco, where does the timeline start?
Only when it goes to that room. That's the aging.
To the brown part.
Final.
You call it the brown. So the brown part.
So it goes to the pilone, and you do the turning. How long do you ferment the leaf in the pilone?
I mean, every factory they do it differently, Jimmy, and every leaf is totally different.
Right.
But when we go there, they tell us we have a year aged tobacco, we have 2 years aged tobacco, 3 years aged tobacco. So accordingly, what we're looking for that cigar to be at that moment, and that's what the tobacco they use. So they can use anything from 90 days to many years of aged tobacco before rolling it.
But they're not sitting in the fermentation for that long.
No.
They move to bales, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And then the bales are stored, and that's the aging continues.
That's the aging process right there. Yes. Now, in my opinion, that the best aging comes after rolling the cigars, because all this tobacco that in one cigar that the flavors marry each other, and they get that's where the real aging for me comes.
Okay.
A lot of experienced people. Yeah, yes. A lot of experienced people may disagree with me, but that's what I believe.
Good. All right, we're gonna move on to the second segment. We got about 10 minutes left. I always like to finish this show with some of the things that have been going on in the news and some of the things we've been doing at Stogie Press. So I'm gonna try to pop some stuff up here. I hope I'm sharing my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, so we did some reviews this past week. One of them was a company called Don Rafa out of Chicago. So this is the Don Rafa Habano Robusto. We gave this one a 91. And had some, you could see the burn on that. Had some nice little flavors. The most interesting flavors in this particular cigar was it was a sweet malt that came in early on with the pepper. And then there was this cherry and sweet oak that kind of blended through that cigar. Very, very nice blend, very nice cigar. I was very happy with that. Another one that we talked about was, actually that's the main one we talked about. Some news that recently has hit. So there's some good news out. So there is, for those that don't know, there's a company out there called Ace Prime, which is, we talked about this in the last show, but this is the latest news on it. It's owned by a gentleman named Luciano Morales, and they've connected and collaborated with Crown Heads, and they created what's called the Bulb Initiative. And this Bulb Initiative is a way to help retailers keep the lights on.
Nice.
What they're doing, and they're going to be actually talking about this on Thursday, April 23rd at 7 o'clock. You can go to thebulbbox.com, and there'll be a online chat they're going to have. And what they're doing is they have this process where you'll be able to contact the shop, and or actually contact them, and you'll be able to get into one of 5 different options, where 4 of them actually are a paid option where you'll get different premium cigars, and they're going to be working with the retailers, and they're going to be the surrogate for the retailer to send them directly to the consumer. And you'll be able to learn more about this. This is to help the retailers continue to press on, because it's easier for them to just drop ship than it is to work directly with some of these retailers. So there's a whole launch on this happening on the 23rd of this month. So you can check that out. The other thing that has happened is, I like this one. So one of our brethren in the media, cigarsense.com. So cigarsense.com is actually a kind of a subscription site.
That's Franca, right? Franca?
Yes, Franca, correct. And what they're doing is they're opening up their education session. They have these free virtual seminars that are going to be taking place between April 20th and 23rd, and they're going to be free for 48 hours. And this is a great time when you're isolated and you're not able to go out and do anything. This is a great opportunity, especially as consumers, to educate yourselves. They have a panel of experts and speakers that have a list, everything including Indiana Ortez, who's going to deal with blending. They're going to talk about politics of anti-smoking movement, the sensory science of cigar, learn about, what's important to you, fire-cured tobacco. I like this particular one where you're going to have learn how Cuban cigars are taste tested. That's interesting. Where do aromas in a lit cigar come from? So that's something that would be most interesting. I'm going to listen in on that. Gourmet pairings, cigar heritage from Maya Selva. Lynn Loop's going to talk about regulatory stuff, and then comparative testing on how to compare 2 different cigars. There is a nice
site. Yeah, I'm a member of that site, and I like that site because they do different rating for the cigars. They don't rate the cigars; they just match your profile to cigars that they have.
Right. So I'm looking forward to this. I personally will chime into some of these. I want to learn a few things. You can never stop learning in this industry. So definitely, if you got an opportunity, check that out. It's on Stogie Press. The other news that came out was Drew Estate. For all of the Drew Estate fans out there, it's time for Flying Pigs. So this is the seasonal release of Flying Pigs, and this year they've actually got their full line of blends, their premium blends, are in Flying Pigs. So they
a lot of there, huh?
You get the Maduro, the Shade, the Sun Grown, the Fire Cure, the Liga Privada 9, and the Privada T52, and those are hitting the shelves this coming week. So if you like Drew Estate and you like pigs, now's the time to grab these pigs. There's not a lot of them, but people clamor to get these. Couple of things to understand. You can always go to stogiepress.com, and if you hit latest posts, You'll always see the latest things that we've put out. And if you are not a subscriber, it's free to subscribe. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button. And the subscription, you just put in your email address right here, and it'll send you an email to confirm. And then anytime I put out a article, Mike or I, you'll get a email with that article, so you don't have to always go peruse through.
It's zero spam. It's only what's posted to the site.
It's only what's posted to the site. Exactly. Okay. So that's it's the latest updates on Stogie Press.
By the way, I like your new logo.
Yeah, the new logo. Diane did a great job on that. You know, she keeps telling me she wants to always upgrade the site, do all of this stuff, and I get so nervous when, you know, I mean, simple imagery is fine, but sometimes she wants to revamp the whole site. I'm like, oh, please, we already had a problem with a hack and everything got all messed up and I had to get it fixed. I was like, I like stability. She goes, no, we got to refresh it. No, she's always.
It does look good, actually. It does. She did a great job with that.
She wants to charge you again for it. That's why.
Yeah, that's what she does, right? Yeah, she wants me to pay her, of course, separate businesses. For those that don't know, my wife owns a company called Immerse Marketing, and she does quite a bit of work for the cigar industry. She does not only websites, she does product photography, she does logo designs.
She does a lot of work for us, absolutely.
Yeah, she does a lot. She does a lot of work. We get a lot of work from the cigar industry, and I'm blessed. I thank everybody for the work that you give to her, because it keeps her really busy in her office, and she doesn't interrupt when I'm doing.
That's the dream, right?
That's it. So in closing, one thing we didn't talk about is how did you come across and bring on your brand ambassador, Jennifer?
Oh,
Jennifer Nicole.
I mean, I know you got others, but you got Jennifer, and Jennifer's been rocking it, right? How did you meet up with Jennifer?
Jennifer got in touch with us. She wanted to do events, and she started doing some events for us. And from there, she did many events, and a lot of cigar lounges started requesting her. And in order for us to send her, there was a minimum order needed for her to be there. And it was successful. And from there, she moved. She used to work for another company at the same time. She moved to be full-time with us.
So she's really helped open the line for you in these.
It opened the line and brought more attention to it, definitely, especially from the cigar lounge owners.
Yeah, actually, we've been trying to convince her before to become our rep. She was delaying it, actually. We're very happy to have her because people like Jennifer. She's very friendly. And, you know, I never meet any person who said Jennifer upset him or, you know, or was rude to him or I never met a person who doesn't like Jennifer.
I mean, as my wife say it, she's the all-American girl. And by the way, my wife is here next to me. She wants to say hello.
I call her the Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock of cigars here.
The Sandra Bullock, there you go, and that's right. So let's all give big congratulations to the happy wedded couple who have postponed their honeymoon, probably having it every day in the house. But with all of this,
No one's complaining in this household. That's good.
I mean, listen, the second day of our marriage, we went for a wake. Let me put it
oh man, that's so bad.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, about Jennifer, she's like George said, like everyone also agrees on her. She's the all-American girl. No one is ever angry with her. She's pleasant and, you know, she's got that little thing, je ne sais quoi, but she makes things happen with it. This is an amazing lady who doesn't pretend much. She is well educated in cigar terms. Really, she knows what she's talking about, and she doesn't even pretend. Whereas you meet people who smoke cigars for like a couple of months and they just become all of a sudden cigar tutorial people, and all of a sudden they want to preach about cigar. Jennifer grew up in the cigar industry since her parents, they own also a cigar lounge, and she knows what she's doing. And she's a simple girl. She doesn't pretend, like I said. We like her very much. We really like her.
So what is your favorite Hiram and Solomon cigar?
Oh, she
Sandra
has
Bullock
that
of the
thing.
cigar
People
industry.
like her. You don't know why they like her. And she's pleasant. In personal life, she's also an amazing lady. Like,
Yeah, she is. I've known Jennifer for quite a while, and
yeah,
she's such
I'm
a pleasant
happy
person.
with our collaboration with her, really.
And she has a lot of background because her father owned a cigar shop, right?
Yeah.
Saying, and she doesn't even pretend to be that connoisseur in terms of cigars. She stays always low key. You know, she doesn't go jump and do the thing. Anyway, was nice seeing you all. Of course, was nice you seeing me.
What is your favorite cigar, Hiram and Solomon?
It's the Grand Architect, of course, the Toro. But I'm talking Grand Toro tonight. But I'm a big addicted, actually, a bit addicted. Every day he asks me, so what do you want to smoke? And I think, I go like, oh, the Grand Architect. Like, another Grand Architect. Like, it takes me every 12, 15 cigars to change it. My second.
How long have you been smoking cigars?
I'm 49 and I started smoking when I was 26. So that's a long
23 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Very good.
Very, yeah.
She was all.
I was all Cuban.
She was one of those all Cuban cigar lady until she tasted Hiram and Solomon.
Yeah.
And then you put a ring on it.
There you go. All right. Well, this has been a great show. We're at the 8 o'clock hour.
All right. Nice to see you all. Have a
Thank
pleasant.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Good to
Thank you
see
for
you.
joining Taking It to the Nub. And if you like this show, you can always go to the YouTube channel on Stogie Press YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that. You'll see all the Taking It to the Nub shows that are out there. Also on Stogie Press, there is a menu item for all the recorded shows. And thank you very much for joining. Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Everybody.
Thank you, Mike and Jimmy.